where I was dreaming of a dream girl, dream girl, dream girl. Yes, dreams. It's been good. I just came off of a 3-day fast and purge basically, but it was freezing out. It got like -9 degrees here. My electronics, because it's an older home, went out a couple different times on different sides of the house. It's a brick home, and I have a basement. Pipes all froze, but I manage every year when it does just to leave a little bit of a drip going in my bathtub, and I didn't in my kitchen, so I didn't have any access to water in my kitchen as far as the sink. But what are you gonna do? I forgot to do it, but it froze over real good for us. So today it lifted, and I'm just gonna share what I went through and my little my experience was awesome. It was awesome this round. I'm really in a good mood, which is ironic that going into it, I kind of had a lot of like maybe yearning for some answers or, something to just like give me some clarity on some stuff that I'm thinking about and I'm doing. And wasn't so much that it was clarity, but it was more reassuring and then defining things that I kind of already knew, I guess, or saw or whatever that's going on right now. There's a lot of dots that are being connected, and if we can look at it like no fear, hopefully. And then approach it with a positive attitude with all the chaos that's really going on. Sometimes I find myself, laughing with some things, and some things are real concerning because maybe somebody else isn't seeing it some way or whatever that is. God bless all those people, everybody. God bless everybody and keep it going on their little path. But for me, I had put on some really good music. I did my meditations and this thing, but then I put on the Book of Thoth, and I've revisited it after like 6 years ago, and Book of Enoch and a couple of the other ones. But just in the guidance of something we probably don't know because they don't want us to know how to heal, how to meditate, where to pick up the energy waves of this realm and the way they've set everything up prior to us and not having the knowledge. It's all on ley lines, everything's power grid, and they're sucking that power grid. Like they know how to manipulate it and basically charge us for it, and we're putting our energy out into it. So we feed it, in so many different ways. We feed that system, the energy. I went off on topic on that one, but what I was thinking was, it was very profound because I knew this before. So I'll just give you the tips and when I picked up on that, and I did do it. What I'm just saying, it was just such a good. Everything that came from it was really, really good, and I just want to remember it and just go with it so I can share with you. And maybe you'll get something from it, and maybe you won't. So when you meditate or lay down to sleep, to pick up the ley lines during the day and then in the evening, you want to face the south, the north in the morning. In the morning, you want to face the north for about an hour this way. And you just want to lay, whatever's comfortable for you. But the best way, when I lay down, I actually kind of put a hand on my stomach area, maybe my here, but I put this one here, and I put the other one kind of up here on my heart. And I found that this type of a meditation for me has always taken me where I need to go, or I can do something in something where I'm actually able to feel myself and my heartbeat and my breath. So I do that. But anyways, you're to face the north, and then you can pick up the best flow from your feet, and then you've got to think from the temple down to your toes, and just cleansing yourself into that meditation so that you can just come to a state of just being, so that you can, whatever flows. That's going to be on your own journey, what you see and what you go through. So I can't really give you that. It takes hours of practice and stuff. Like I said, I've been doing this stuff since I was really, really young, and turned it into a habit because I really enjoy it, and I really just feel very secure in just knowing what I know inside and how I can move through my journey and what I'm doing and what I take in and what, maybe I don't need or whatever. It doesn't, it just kind of bounces off that little armor. I've done a video about my armor of God. That comes over time, I guess, in your your confidence. I guess this is what we would want to call it, right? Confidence is like key to that balance. It's if you can keep the confidence in what you've known or what you've learned or that type of thing. I think confidence is probably the best key to straightening yourself up, right, for the journey. Just confidence. So you go north, and you'll pick literally the stream. I know this might sound funky and weird to some people if they don't understand magnetism and frequencies, vibrations. This is all basically Tesla was kind of rewinding like the clocks of time, but this is actually ancient. This is just ancient stuff that is known about who we are and what we are in this realm. It's all about frequency and energy and vibrations with people, things, places, and how it leaves an implant on you as a person. And then you're able to make your decisions through the flow of life, right? The fabric of life. You're in and out the fabric, you're weaving. So, and then the other thing you would do after doing an hour north, whatever that is for you, whatever you need to have come through you, whatever's, in your heart is really where it needs to come from. It's like natural law knows your heart. That's all I can say. I just don't even know how to put that another way. But natural law knows your heart. So just north for an hour, and then south for an hour is in the evening. This is the other thing you want to understand, the way that the ancients did it so that you save your memory. This is what's really good, is when you are going to go and level up and pass away and take your last breath here, in order to save the memories that you collected here for literally to get out so you can remember, you lay with your head to the east and you lay with your hands this way, just like they bury you this way, right? They put you this way. If you could be in a situation, hit by a car, you'll get in an accident and something doesn't tragically happen to you, perhaps you can ask family members or something, say you're in a home or something, to face you towards the east and let you relax and take your last breaths and surrender literally to what would originally be the darkness, because you fade back. I would imagine this is where you'll be, if you're into understanding that, you're allowing yourself to go in that breath. I've been with 2 people that died in my arms. And they're really at peace. I took care of these. One was my brother. I took care of him for 2 years. This brother was 6'7". Talk about dead weight. Whoa, the last night we were together, he had been sick for 2 years, and I got him out of the hospital, and he grabbed my arm, and this guy was cleaning him out. because of fluids in his lungs and just, I guess, harshly. And I walked in and I felt bad because I wasn't really there that period of time. I didn't realize this was something. He was just like, "Hey, Mike, get me the out of here." And I was like, he's never cussed. This guy was going to be a priest. He never got married. He never had kids. He would give you the shirt off your back, brother. Like I miss that brother. Right? So he was very ill. And I got him out of the hospital, and that was the last time. And they had told me he had a tumor at this point. And he was just like, just take me home. And I hooked him up. He went to Mexico to I said, where do you want to go? And he pointed. He only had a calendar in his room, no decorations. He was the simplest guy. He was already, that's why I say he'd already leveled up long. But he taught me so much, that brother. And he just pointed to the calendar that was on the wall, and it was the oldest church in New Mexico. And I just want to, I can't remember the name, guys, to just be rolling off my head and think about it. But I got it. I got the name of it. My dad and one of my other brothers went. I got the wheelchair set up and everything, got him there after getting him out of the hospital. And he went on that trip. And then he came back and he died the following week. And I went out and I got this music that he really liked, the monks that chant and sing. It's really beautiful music because it echoes, and I could just imagine in the golden age of what that would be. But if you've ever heard the monks that sing in the cathedrals, I put that on. And he didn't want, when you're dying and you've got cancer, like your skin feels like prickly, so you don't want to really rub. They're dying, so when you start to see their feet and their legs going gray, their body is slowly breaking down to die. You'll see it in them, and then their hands and everything on them. You don't want to rub their skin. Okay, I could understand exactly what he was saying to me, and like, so anyways, everyone came in the room, aunts and all those, and I got the music and put it on, and I just got up on the bed next to him and was with him, and I had been with him through the night at 3 a.m, and I was the last person he spoke to at 3 a.m, and then I just said, I'm so exhausted. I'm going to go to bed, and Dad will be up in 4:30, and he'll come check on you, and are you good? And before that, I had come home. It was like 2:30, and he was like laying halfway on the bed, like, I was like, what are you doing? Or, I was trying to go to the bathroom. And that was the last time he went to the bathroom. I got him up. It was like dead weight, and he was determined. He didn't want diapers, none of that crap. And he walked, and I got him to the bathroom. I gave him his dignity, and he braced whatever he did. He went to the bathroom, and I got him back to the bed and lugged him up and got him in and comfortable. And that's when I was pretty exhausted, and asked him if he was all right. And he said, yeah. And I said, I love you, Gary. And he said, I love you too, Mike. You take care. And those were the last words he ever spoke. And he used to say that all the time. That was his, you take care now. So that was the last words he spoke, because when I woke up the next morning, I didn't get much sleep. My family was there, and I came out. And they all said he hadn't said a word or anything, and he was just laying there in what they call a fixed coma, where the eyes are just literally, they're going over to another realm. But he's in a fixed coma and a very shallow breath. And it's very touching to just go right over them and look at them and like talk to them. It's crazy. It's really, really, really beautiful though. But it's crazy to watch somebody ascend. It's beautiful, bizarre, and in a moment, it's just incredible. It really is to watch somebody pass that their heart is good. That's just all I can say. I don't know with what I know and what he took in. Everybody has their own. That's what I mean. And he was okay. He was just okay. He was ready to go home. That's all I know. He just was ready to go to his next venture. Told me what he wanted at the funeral, and nothing big deal. He wanted to be cremated, and put on top of my mother, who died before I was 2 years old. So he was buried on top of like her heart, cremated, and that music was playing in the monks. And I remember just kind of holding his hand after I had been talking to him, and the family members were all in the room, and I was kind of up on the bed with them, and then at that moment, my dad said, I said, wait a minute. And my dad said, well, wait a minute, let me see. And he came down and my dad knows, I guess, he's with my mom. My dad's seen a few people die too, I'm sure, he said he just naturally just went down and touched him for the pulse. And he was gone. It was a very shallow breath, and he just stopped breathing. He was gone. And that music was playing, and I felt it. I felt the essence. And at the time, the cancer that he had started in the lymph nodes. A girlfriend came over with her kids, and they went out back on the trampoline with my kids. The kids were out in the back when my brother passed. A lot of kids all out in the back playing. And she had just come in 2 minutes before, and 5 months before, we worked together. And I said to her, she had lymph cancer 5 years before. And because my brother was sick, she says, I'm supposed to get checked like every 5 years. It's been 5 years or whatever. She went in and got checked. And just told me 2 weeks before that it was back for her. And this was a girlfriend that I worked. It was so weird, but she come in the room and my brother passed away. So this goes on where now my girlfriend's sick. Like I worked with her, and then I took her to get she wanted to go probiotics, and we tried that. She did, just like me, I did 1 round of chemo and I quit. It almost took my life in 2017. That's a whole nother story. I'll talk about it sometime. And that doctor's doing 20 years for overtreatment, Medicare fraud, basically. But this girl, Jill, that day, my brother died, and she and I, together, within 5 months, I went and bought wigs with her, because she did 1 round of chemo, lost everything, and she went downhill like that. I just couldn't, it was so bizarre. Like my mom's mom died that period of time. I had a friend that was in LA that I used to dance with. In my last show that I was in, he was just like a California type guy, gay guy, great guy. He went to a dentist and they mixed some type of medicine. And this is somebody that's stable and on their feet and a dancer. And the dude slipped in his bathtub, and they found him 2 or 3 days later. That was another friend. So all in a period of 1 year, I lost maybe 6 or 7 people. It was really bizarre. It was a lot. And my little guy was just only 2 years old at the time. And my daughter was 7, my son was 2. So it was crazy, but it's a really good spiritual experience, man. I took them all in, yeah. A lot of love, yeah. And I went to the hospice when she died, and I brought my children in, and she was in the same state as my brother. The same calm, but she was in hospice in one of the rooms. I was the one that was there to visit her. I was the one that went through. And she was just a coworker. She was a floor lady at the time when I was a dealer. A little short little gal, just a sweetheart. And she left behind 3 kids with an abusive guy that she was just divorcing the year before. So maybe the stress brought it on, Maybe that's how I got my cancer, which is another whole other story with my dad, which I won't even get into it here. I brought him back to life literally from a stroke. He was laid up in the hospital for 3 weeks in ICU in Vegas, and I live here. So I will get into that. And I flew out there, and that's a whole other really intense story about my own siblings and my dad, and finding out 4 years later that he wasn't my dad. And I have another sister now. I'm the baby of 9. That's a whole other, wow, whoa. That was a mind banger, man. That was crazy. That was 2019 when I figured it out. 2015 when he was really sick. But Jill was in hospice, and I brought my kids in, and Same situation. The eyes, looked at her, gave her my love, talked to her, and she took her last breath, and she passed that night. She passed. So it's a really, 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 really beautiful experience, though. There's nothing to fear. It's really beautiful. And then I'm not gonna. I have so much more I wanted to talk about, but I guess I got off on that because of the way that they say to lay. You want to lay to the east when you pass, because the gate and the star, the way the star is set, I believe. Something about the north when you want to balance yourself, the north and the south, so you balance your poles within you. That's what the meditation part's about. But to actually, like, whatever, like, I don't understand that. I'll look into it more and more and more and more, and just get as much as I can to understand even the layout of our land and what's going on, the ley lines, I mean, it just goes on and on. But I just don't have fear for it. I don't. I know a lot of people are running around right now having. We just had a really severe, anyways, freeze, and it was -9. But at the same time, we had a sun flare that came through maybe about 5 days ago. It takes a little minute for it to reach, but the gamma rays that come out, or UV. I don't know. I don't know which ones are going to be more. I'll have to figure that one out myself. Right now, I'm not thinking about it. And that hit, and today was a good wave of it, and tomorrow's going to be more. And I've noticed the frequencies and people and agitations and things coming up. I'm just me and my dog, so it's not too bad. But I ventured out and get my deal. And I can sense the intensity around that frequency that's flowing over the whole realm right now. I can feel it. It's pretty strong. Anyways, stay strong, everybody. Remember to stay within yourself, cleanse, do whatever you need to do. That's what I just did for 3 days. It's awesome. I feel great. And kind of reminiscing about what it means to be alive and what it means to understand why we're alive, and to really enjoy every moment, or at least try. It's the best we can do is try. And be aware of what your heart's telling you, for sure. Know that everything needs to work together, all of it together in your little meat suit that we have right now. But the essence of you can be solid. You can stay balanced and solid and weigh whatever it is going on. That's life. We have to do that. But yeah, it was a really good last 3.5 days for me. It was really cleansing. I recommend it. It builds strength. I guess it's the best thing. Only thing in my back is kind of hurting me a little bit. I needed some protein or a little bit more of a heavier meal or something. I'll work up to it and do the smoothie thing and some bananas. I like the avocado. Like pumpernickel bread with toasted with some olive oil, some pepper with some cream cheese and avocado. Oh, it just tastes good, really toasted up. You can add whatever you want on it, but that's kind of like a nice little snack too, and it's wholesome and it gets you there. But that's how I'm coming out of it, and I feel really good tonight. I'm cozy as it could be. I'm thawing out, to tell you the truth. It was really cold. And I kind of hibernate into a room. I have not really used my AC since I've moved here, and I have a fireplace, which just to get that thing cleaned out, and that would be wonderful. And we can get the iron stoves in this area. They've got a lot of antiques and stuff like that. And I would love to get just to set it up where the fireplace, I get it for $120. I can have it licensed and cleaned out, and get one of those little fire stoves in case my electricity goes out like it did the last couple of days, because it was so cold. The left side electricity, and then the right side that runs on this wall and into the kitchen. It goes out and I got to go get to the breaker and turn it. I know much to do that, but my pipes froze up, that type of thing. So when it hits the fan, you want to be able to like handle your stuff. So I think I'm going to go buy one. Like this, they've got them all over here. They're like the old stoves with like the iron, then you use the iron pots and stuff like that. And I can do one out in the back too. I saw this like fire pit thing that looks like kind of like those, I like a hoons, or it's a fire pit that you can put stuff in it, but then it's got the hole in the top, so it's clay. And I saw that the other day for really cheap, like $20. I thought, oh, I should pick that up for the backyard just in case. And my wood, I can get down the street, load that up in my truck, and just go for a walk with my dog, and literally however much I want. It's like up on this little walk, and there's a hill and trees. And that's where I found the deer that day when I was taking a walk. Beautiful. It's beautiful around there, when it's not so cold. Can't really venture and do that right now. But anyways, I'm going to get going. I wanted to share a little bit about how good it was the last 3 days for me. It was just really good. It got me back in touch with a sense of just, I don't need to be so bewildered, where I was kind of, after I had moved. There was a reason why I moved here. My life's pretty intense as far as that goes. And I've got on a whole big onesie going on here. It's so cool. I moved out here, and in my own situation where I'm at, I have to take that time to like center for myself so that I can be assured of the steps I'm taking, because I don't have to be really accountable for anybody anymore. Where before, that's all I was doing, was always accountable for large groups of people and managing them and and then in a forum where I gotta be in control of my game. I got millions of dollars sitting in it, and then I got somebody tapping me out and going in. Like, I kept an eye on that stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff, and then raising your kids, and then your dad, and just keeping an eye on that, and just being present all the time. Like, there's no slacking. And then at the tail end of it, and getting my butt out here, there's a whole thing about that. I'll get into it one day. But that's how I got out here to where I am in the flyover country, and it does have the 4 seasons, and that's why we just had to freeze. So I figured, what else is better to do? If all the shops and everything closed down and the power went out, all that, I had like my candles set, and I knew I was fasting for 3 days, so I didn't care. So I called it a freeze fast. I was like, I'll call it a freeze fast. So I literally was so cold. I could get so cold I could go outside in the snow. It was like getting into really cold, like an ice bath. Basically, you just would get so cold. It's -9. And then I would come in and I could just sweat it out. Like, I have a hot tub, and just get into that. It was like this mix, and plus I was fasting, guys. It was so good. It was so cleansing. And then I was just thinking clear, so that everything was just kind of flowing, and my thoughts were good. I did have some other stuff that came to me when I was thinking, but I'm not going to bring that up now. Some things I don't like to talk about, but I will clip in that some weird like mall thing happened. I had a dream 4 years ago, and I'm not shitting you. People scattering and running in chaos with vehicles, like coming everywhere, and I went and I saw what was coming, and it was exactly, almost, this could come in the future too. There could be some magnetism, weird stuff going on, because they're breaking bad over there in the Pentagon and the military, and they're trying to like come out with some stuff, because either they're trying to introduce their own technology they've reversed, or we're dealing with some other dimensions, and we do have they are here with us. I mean, who really knows, right? Nobody knows until the veil just lifts and you just can see it. Like, I sense a lot. Like, there's just so much that I sense, right? See it, telepathy kind of thing, But if the veil drops enough that they literally it's like seeing, because we only can see so much with our vision in our capabilities. Our DNA and everything's been split for us. The number two's been like split and then capped off. Like we don't have that ability. But the more we wake up to understand those abilities and what we have, and you practice them and you meditate and you just take time to be within yourself and understand. And thank the good Lord that your creator that brought you here, that has given you this experience, because that's all you have, right? Is you can understand that that's your creator. You know, whatever you feel it, but you don't know if it. Everybody says, well, what happens when I sleep? Well, what happens when I meditate? Well, what happens when I'm awake? Like, we don't really know, right? People go off of movies. People go off. I was never into gaming or, video games. So I can't think on that simulation level thing. Like, but I can think of I definitely can think of the sundial clock and the old, literally in Hoover. Look it up, Hoover Dam sundial clock, and you can see that it's 24,000 year cycle, and this is the calendar that we got from the Mayans that everybody was worried about in 2012. So something might have switched in 2012. I feel like I did. I moved out here. I knew in 2011. I meditated for 2 years, and literally this is where I was shown and brought and guided. And this is I'm here. I'm good. So and I'm out of the concrete jungle that I was raised in, which is Las Vegas. So I mean, things happen for the moment and the reason for in your life for whatever reason. So I'm here, and now all of a sudden the fuss is really starting, and I feel pretty good where I'm at, mentally, physically. I've gotten over some hurdles in the last few years with my own family members, realizing I had all that stuff. Did this fasting the last 3 days, and I feel like I'm on fire. I'm ready to go. I'm really good. I'm good. I'm cozy. It's winter time. It's January 18th, 2024. I'll put that in my video so I can remember where the heck it's at. And just want to give everybody really encouraging words of stay in there, staying strong for yourselves. And keeping the rhythm. And I've been giggling a lot lately. Just, it's kind of funny. But like my neighbor friend and this gal came over. And I just get into this giggle. It's kind of inappropriate, and I'm thinking, where is that coming from? Because it's not really, but hey, if that works, and then it ends up putting a smile on the other person's face, which is kind of fun. And then you get over it. Oh, I want to show you something that my daughter, and then my granddaughter, which is my son's daughter. I've got 2 grandbabies. But the older one, she was here, and this was a few weeks back, but we did one of our canvases. I've got a bunch of them around, but this particular one, we all 3 did it together, and I'll explain it to you. It's beautiful. I just think it's one of my... So me, my daughter, and my granddaughter made that, and then we signed the back. And we did it on 11/23/23. Wow. I never even noticed that. 11/23/23. So they worked on from a picture that I brought up from Free Willy, and I had done it years ago, just freehand. And I had sent a letter to somebody I knew in the Bahamas, and it was beautiful with the whale and him jumping over the rocks and the boy underneath. So I pulled up that picture, and they start making this. And as I'm telling it, we got the flat plane going, we got the glowing of the sun coming out. And then I came in and I made the sandbar with the plant and palm tree coming in and a little bit of highlight. And it completed our canvas. It's just one of them. I love it. I just love that one. So I'm going to leave you with that. You guys have a good night.